Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to Let's Make a Mech, part 1 for the Enforcer. This is basically Let's Make a Model, but specifically for Battletech. And I'm starting off with the Enforcer, which is an Inner Sphere mech, because the two Smoke Jaguar mechs I'm painting up right now are currently halfway through their painting progress for the most part. And I'm painting it kind of at the same time I do the Dark Angels, so I'm not making drastic, well, the one Dark Angel model, so I'm not making drastic leaps forward in progress for either. But they're already halfway through, so I can't really show you that. So we're going to show you the Enforcer. And the reason we picked the Enforcer is because it's the second mech you need for the quick start rules to basically jump into playing Battletech and getting used to some of the basic rules. You need a Hunchback and the Enforcer, and it's always fun to do that with painted models. So here we go. This is the Enforcer, and being Inner Sphere, it's going to be painted up as the Iridani Light Horse. Color scheme, that's what I chose to paint my Inner Sphere as. You could do House Davian, Steiner, you could do Comstar stuff, Comguard, you could do Solaris 7, Merc units, whatever. I chose the Iridani Light Horse. And this is the color scheme. I'll bring the Hunchback in. It's an olive drab color scheme, and with some yellow I added to kind of break it up a little bit. So that's the end result, only on the Enforcer model. Now, quick aside, I like the models supplied with Battletech introductory box set. I like that they're plastic. I like that they're assembly really required on them, and not really requiring assembly is great, especially for new players getting into it. But I found it hard picking out the Enforcer, and I'm not 100% sure I picked the right mech. I hope it is, but there's a little picture they give you on each mech's data sheet, pretty much, that you match up the model with. Now, it's not the same as that posing, which can throw you off a little bit. Now, I'm a big fan of Battletech. I grew up with it. I watched the animated series that was on for a short time. I played all the almost all the PC games and almost all the console games. I have one comic, just one issue of the Battletech comic. I don't know how short-lived that was. And I have a couple of the toys that they produced back when I was a kid, and all that jazz. So I know a decent amount of mechs. I know some of the iconic mechs like the Mauler, the Atlas, the Direwolf for the Clan, the Timberwolf for the Clan. I know about the Catapult and the Awesome and all that. Some of the big iconic names. The Enforcer, not really up there with the iconic mechs. So I had some problems, locating it in the mechs they provide. One thing they could do is stamp the bottom of the bases with Enforcer or Atlas, whatever it is. I think it'll make it a lot easier for new players who maybe know nothing about Battletech, just saw it in a local game store, and you know what, I like mecha, I like mechs. These things are big mechs, apparently. They're blowing stuff up. That's cool. I want to get into this. Or however you pick up a new game, I don't know. But make it a little bit easier. Anyway, just a little aside. So the first step is going to be, normally it would be assembly for my mechs, but being the introductory box set plastic mechs for the Inner Sphere, there's no assembly required. They're not the highest detail models, but they're ready to go. So you just do a little cleanup work. There are some mold lines that you have to scrape down or file down. The base is textured. You don't need to put flock on it. I did on the Hunchback. This guy I'm not going to. I'm going to just see how it looks without being flocked up. Anyway, so first off would be cleaning it up and base coating. I'm going to base coat the base itself, Beast Shield Brown. I'm going to do that first. And then I'm going to base coat the mech, Chaos Black. So around the feet, there's going to be some black on the base. I'm going to try and touch that up, though it's not really necessary at this step because you may get more paint on it later. So that's what we're going to see next. Is when we, in part 2, the next video, you'll see this guy base coated, and then we'll go from there. Remember, the end result is going to be something like this, an Iridani Light Horse. Now, before I end this video, I'm going to put a 40K Space Marine side to side, just to show you the size comparison. Reason being, the Space Marine wears a suit of armor. It's basically a superhuman in a suit of armor. A battle mech from BattleTech is a large war machine. The person sits in the cockpit in the head. The cockpit is in the head usually, or clearly defined. You can clearly tell where the cockpit is on models that don't necessarily have a head. And from there, they control the vehicle, basically, the war machine. It's a one-person controlled thing. I think there are a couple out of two, but that's not important. It's one-person controlled. Think Titan, at least for the size comparison from infantry to war machine. That's kind of the size difference. And battle mechs range from light to assault, which is different tonnages, making them bigger potentially than the smaller mechs. Let's say the assault mech is usually bigger, bulkier, and it's definitely heavier because that's how they classify it by weight than a light mech. So just want to show you that because not only is it a smaller scaled model in terms of what it's representing, it's a vehicle. So you may look at it and think infantry when you look at it as far as painting approach, but I approach it painting it as a vehicle, and it works pretty well because that's what it is basically. So we'll get into that as we get further along in painting up this model. I just wanted to touch upon that now. So that's pretty much it, and until next time, take it easy.